Hey friends, it's Tracy. In today's video, I'm sharing a few crafts that I created for my home for this summertime season. Let's get started. This project is a vintage crock topper kit, and the wood kit is from the craftwoodclub.com, which is from Casey over at R+R Home. Each month I get a subscription delivered to my mailbox, and it includes a cute wood kit as well as a coordinating card and other details. The card is just something that she does for devotional, and I absolutely love the way that this turned out. Now, Casey had done her wood topper kit, and guys, I fell in love and I wanted to do mine exactly the same way. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm so fortunate that I have been doing crafts for so long, and I get pictures, I get people, friends who tag me in all of their creations. And so I know exactly how it feels when I create something and you fall in love with it and you want to create it as well. Of course, all of us are always have that option to put our own spin on it, but it just really warms my heart when I get all of those pictures and all of those tags to just show me how my creations inspire you. And so I was totally inspired by Casey when she did her wood crock kit on her Facebook page. Guys, I know that you're going to want to check that out because she just has the sweetest demeanor and everything about her. And so I will leave a link to her Facebook page and her video in the description so that you can check that out. So what I did first is just take my vintage antique wax. It's just antique wax. It's a Waverly brand I get from Walmart. And then I just gave it the stained. Then I just took my sandstone chalk paint and then gave it a coat of that. Then for the small little blue like stripes that are going to be for my crock, I used night sky as well as that on the star. I pulled 2 rusty stars out of my big stash that I have. Now, guys, I have no idea where these rusty stars came from. They are just something that I had on hand. So I'm just putting them there on the sides and just loving how this is turning out. Now, for the American flags, I got a pack of these probably from like either Walmart or Hobby Lobby, and they were curled already in the package, and so I just took some water and misted them so that I could kind of antique them a bit. And I got this tip from Casey as well as my friend Summer over at Hammond's Nest. And so this is just a great way to kind of antique those flags or grunge them up a bit if you want them to match your country projects. This is just a great way. Antique wax is a great way to do that. And so then what I'm going to do is just start assembling my greenery and the things in my crock. I'm just absolutely loving the way that this turned out. And so this greenery came from Hobby Lobby, and so I'm going to be using that as well as some moss. Now I had bought this moss thinking that that's what I was going to use, but nope, that did not work out too good. So I'll going to switch to a different Spanish moss here in just a second. Okay, so then now I'm going to start assembling my flags on the back of my crock. And so I just have my little stapler with 3/8" staples just to staple on the back and just make sure that everything is secure. I do that with all 3 of the flags as well as some of that greenery. And I am just going to build my arrangement here at the back of my crock. Now, once I get everything like stapled down, I'm going to take a piece of felt here in a little while, and then I'm going to cover up all of those staples in the back. And guys, these, when you first order a wood kit from Casey, it comes with a base that is unpainted, and it has the little, I guess, dowel in there that fits right in that hole. And the reason I'm explaining this is I had a question from a viewer that wanted to know, how do I get it to sit in the topper? And it's just like that. And so I have done a beehive, and I've also done the strawberry jam jar. And so I love that so much. But for this crock, I am just have it sit by itself because I just like that a little bit better. And it's not quite as tall as it is with the topper. So then what I'm going to do is add some pip berries to my crock jar. Can't forget my pip berries. And then I'm going to make a fun tag that says Liberty, just hand lettered that, and then did all of the fun country things that I love to do to it by adding some vintage photo distress ink and just some black Sharpie marker. Just do a little doodling around that, and then I just use my adhesive spray and my snow swirl glitter just to give it a little bit of shimmer. I'm going to make a rag bow just by using some just a couple pieces of cheesecloth as well as muslin fabric. And this muslin fabric that I'm using was a little stiff, or, is like ironed. And so I just run my hands over it just to kind of soften that up a bit and give it a little tattered look. And so I just use some laces and trims, not too much. I just want a little bit of accent, not anything real big or fluffy for this arrangement, just a little bit of accent. And then I'm just going to be using some hem cording just to tie laid that on to the side as well. And then for my tag, it was a little bit big, so I just tore it down, just giving some of those ragged edges. And then I add a rusty safety pin there in the middle just to attach that bow, and then glue it there to the side of my crock. And I absolutely love the way that this turned out. And so for the jam jar and the beehive, I had put it on the little spindle riser, but for this crock, I just have it sitting there in my living room on my little shelf. This is a mirrored shelf, and so that's why you can kind of see in it, and I just absolutely love it, and I'm just gonna love it this whole summer season. I know that these mason jar lid flowers have been around for quite some time, but I never really was inspired to create any until I found this bag of lids and toppers from the Goodwill. I paid $1.99 for this whole bag, and I didn't even count how many was in there, but I decided to go ahead and try my hand at those fun flowers that you tie fabric onto. So, full transparency. When I need some inspiration, I turn to my Pinterest boards and try to be inspired. And guys, there are so many ideas out there with these mason jar flowers. And I was looking more for patriotic. And so I kind of narrowed my search down to the patriotic Americana. And guys, I fell upon this pin right here. It was pinned by someone else, but this pin, this creative gingham with the blue stars, I fell in love, and I was like, okay, that is what I'm going to do. And this led me to the Twisted Twigs Decor over on Etsy. And so I do want to give credit where I got the inspiration. Okay, guys, so the first thing that I did is just take my crocodile and put a hole at the bottom, and then I was going to stick the dowel through there. I had briefly, I don't know, a while back, I had ran across a TikTok or something, and I remember her doing that. So that's why I did that first. But honestly, in the end, I didn't even need to do that. So I'm going to kind of tell you my errors as well as what I liked about this, because I made 3 flowers. And so I'm going to tell you what I did to I did my prototype, or like my first one, and then I decided nope, I tore my little strips a little too small, so this is my second one. Okay, so I have this gingham fabric I got from Hobby Lobby, and so I tore my strips at 3/4 of an inch, and then what I did is I just ripped the fabric because I like the jagged edge. And so then I cut those strips down to 8 inches. And then that gave me a really good size to tie the knot. It's kind of like a lark's knot that you do like for macrame, I think. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm just gluing that one in place because I didn't want to lose my hole for where I was going to put my dowel in. But honestly, the next one I did, I didn't even use that. So I'm going to tell you what I like better. All right. So to attach my fabric, what I'm going to do is I have this strip of fabric, and then I fold it in half, and then I'm going to put it around the lid just like that, and then bring those 2 bottom pieces through there and then make my knot. And so then I continue to do this all the way around the lid, the ring. And I counted them, and on this one I used like 23, but on the last one I used 25 because I didn't even worry about that hole or anything like that, because what I'm going to glue to the back of it, I liked it without even having put it through the hole, because my flower stood up more nicer. Okay, so then just to kind of trim off any, like if I get off a little bit, then I just use my pinking shears. That kind of helps with just making it look really nice. So here I'm just cutting the 8-inch strips so that I can continue to tie them on my jar lid or on my little jar ring. And so again, I just bend it over, then I just push that through there. And so then I kind of like lay them out like that as I go along. And I guess, as the saying says, the practice makes perfect, because by the third flower that I did with these, I kind of mastered it. And so I figured out the first two were kind of like, yeah, that didn't work too good. And then the third one I liked a lot better. Okay, so then I just have a piece of cardboard, and then the lid, I just trace it around because I glued the cardboard to the back. I thought that I needed that to like close it or whatever, but honestly, I didn't even need this cardboard. So anyway, just sharing what works for me and what didn't. Okay, so then for the lid, I'm just going to cut off a square of this stars, this blue star fabric, got from Hobby Lobby as well. And so from the difference from the first flower that I did to the second one here, I realized that I wanted a puffier center, and so I have a lot of this stuffing. It like is coming out on the sides, and it almost looks like it's not even going to fit underneath there, but I just keep gluing and pushing it underneath there, and I liked that fluffy center a lot better. And so even on the third one, when I made the center, I added more stuffing, and so I like that it pokes out a little bit more on the third one. And so I share this only to say, if you want a really puffy center, I guess more of the stuffing is needed. Okay, so then here I'm like trying to find the hole, but I got frustrated and wasn't even going to worry about that. So I just stick the lid in there, and with the extra fabric glued on there, it just really kind of had to push, and finally it just like popped in there. And so then here you can see my center is a lot puffier. And so I'm still trying to figure out that I want to put the dowel in there, and yeah, that didn't work. And so I just glue it there to the back, and then I was like, I don't know. I was just trying all different things. You know, in crafting, we just try all different things, and some things work and some things don't. So I added some stuffing, and then I was going to glue that cardboard backing. That did not work. And so I took that apart. I'm like, you silly girl, that is just not gonna work, because there's really not a whole lot to stick to. So I just took the dowel, just glued it to the back, and then I just took that piece of cardboard and just glued it on the back. And so yes, that was flower number 2. So then when flower number 3 came around, I learned from what I didn't like in the first 2. But before I get to flower 3, I just remembered that I needed to wrap my dowel or my little, my dowel with some fabric. And I just went down as far as this piece did, because I'm going to stick it into a little milk can. So you're not even going to see that. But if you wanted it all the way finished, you'll need to do that. All right, so then just to give it a little bit of form, I just got my Stiffen Quick, and it's just a fabric stiffening spray. And I learned from the first one, I had sprayed it entirely too much, and I did not like that. So I only sprayed a little bit on this, on the second one. But here is the third flower that I did. And I have these barbecue sticks. I got these from a local grocery store. They're like a flat, they're not a dowel, they're just like a skewer stick, but they're flat. And so I like that much better. So I'm just wrapping that with some fabric. Then I turn over my flower and I glue it there to the back, just like that, with that barbecue skewer stick. I just like that much better. I didn't include any cardboard on the back to finish it up or anything. And I like this much better. This is my third flower. And when I made the center, I made it a lot puffier. Like I pushed and pushed and pushed that fabric fill in there until I got the puffy center the way that I like it. Okay, guys, so this is the first one that I did, and my fabric strips were entirely too thin, and I sprayed it too much with the Stiffen Quick. And so then the second one, I was getting a little bit better, but I wanted my third one to be a little bit fuller in the center. And so, third time's a charm, guys. So that's what I would recommend if you've never done any of these flowers. Tear your strips of fabric about 3/4 of an inch, cut them at 8 inches, and then tie them on like a lark's knot onto the ring. I used approximately 25 strips, and then some fabric fill for the center. And just when you think you're like, oh, there's no way I can stick that much fabric fill in there, yes, you can, and it makes a really puffy center if that's what you like. So this is how I decided to display my flowers. I have this red milk can. It was a Christmas style can. I just took off that pine garland. I think I got this at Dollar General. It had a $4 tag on the bottom. So I can't remember if I got it on sale one year or if I actually paid $4 for it. But knowing me, I may have, only because I loved the milk can. All right, so then I just stuck in some styrofoam, and then now I'm just putting a bit of fine excelsior on there because that is going to be kind of like my moss for my can. Then I have just some different greenery here. Now I was fortunate to find some of this greenery at Hobby Lobby during their clearance for $2.49. So I was really happy to use this. So I'm going to cut a few pieces of that off and then stick my flowers in there. I decided to just put 2 flowers in, and then I'm going to add some of the greenery with the little white flowers that I got from Craft Outlet, and add some of that, and then make a bow. I use 2 1.5-inch ribbons and just make a sweet bow. And then I'm going to put a piece of ribbon around the neck of the milk can, and then I'll attach my bow there on the side. I didn't glue a whole lot of this in, only because I didn't know if I was going to leave it like this permanently or change it out as time goes on. But if this is something that you're interested in and you are selling it or making it for someone special, I would definitely glue everything in so that it's all permanent and looks really cute.